Here we have a nice Old Speckled Hen. Now, it's a bit strong for my liking, coming in at 5%. I kind of like the slightly weaker ones for when I'm just chilling out. And of course, you can get way stronger than Old Speckled Hen, and it isn't exactly the closest of a craft ale that you're ever going to get. But it really is nice. It's one of those that I'll have when I'm playing snooker. A very nice bottle cap. Let's have a look at that in a moment. There we go, for those of you bottle cap collectors. Yeah, we're using my old, I like to call this the Dave glass, because he went to the beer festival in 2012. Or it might have even been worse than that. It may have been that he knew someone who knew someone that went, and they got themselves the Steel, Steam and Stars #3 Beer Festival 2012. It's very good. I've washed it out slightly. But we're going to go ahead and give this a pour. Now, unfortunately, I only have one hand for doing this, so I can't really do it justice. But from what I can gather, the rule is, in a pub, they'll pour right the way up, and no fizz, tiny little head, and that's sort of how you go. We don't want to do that. We want to get a slight fizz going on. And what this does is remove all the excess sort of gas that is held in the beer, and then we'll end up in a situation where we shouldn't be burping every 5 seconds later on. Now, these take time to settle down, but no, let's get a quick smell here. It smells very creamy. It really does. It's weird that you'd think, oh, what a ponce, you're smelling the damn thing to see, what it smells like. I'm not one of those that will sit and pick out flavours, but I do enjoy taking a good smell. Sometimes they smell much, much stronger. Other times with a pale ale, they're not very strong at all, and they're sort of just, it's the sort of thing that you'd have sort of getting out of bed. Yeah, oh, it's 10 a.m, let's go. Let us go and have a pale ale, whereas one of these is sort of a slightly, it's more suited for the evening. I'm going to pour a little bit more on here. Oh, there you go. And you do get a nice thick head. You don't get quite as much as this if you pour like I would normally pour. You have the glass at an angle slightly, but this just gets out all of the nonsense that we don't necessarily need. And some people go from the bottle. I generally won't, because again, you can't get rid of that. And as well, I feel like letting it get some air, which is what it's doing now, is a big benefit. You want to get some air. You want to have some air in there, and that sort of lets the flavours come out a little bit. But I will go for a quick taste from the bottle. Oh my. I happen to have the gold one of this. This came from a box of 6 classic British ales. There's a photo of those on the screen right now for you. And there's a nice selection in there. Usually these come with a pale, a sort of one of these, a couple of slightly stronger ones, and then there's a really dark one in there, a really nice dark beer that you have sort of for dessert. Yeah, all right, I've just had me roast, and now I have me dessert, and then they just pull out a pint of this for you. But that's very tasty. It's got a nice aftertaste. It's not like you're sort of aware that it's there, but it's not punching you around going, hey, you need to go clean your flipping mouth out now, because give it a couple of hours and you'll want to do that. But yeah, it's good, very good. But these settle down. It doesn't take too long, and you can go ahead and pour a little bit more in now. And I think that the idea is if you go for a slower pour or a sort of a less violent pour, you'll end up with the tiny little thing on top, and then you'll see your mate drink that, and then he'll be running off to the toilet, and he'll also be there burping like a good one every 5 seconds. So, and we don't want that. You can't help it with lager, but this just, look at the colour of that. I mean, seriously. How on earth can anybody not like that? I mean, some say it looks like old man piss, but in my mind, I mean, it's perfect. It's just perfect. I'll sometimes go for the old like Newcastle Brown, or I don't really go for Guinness or anything like that. I know that's sort of a slightly different thing, but I'll go for for a Newcastle brown, or I'll have sometimes we have one down here, Tribute it's called. That's a pale ale. It's sort of on the very other end of the spectrum. That again is just like having, it's so mild, it's unreal. But you know, you don't need anything to knock your shoes off every now and then. But let's have a look at the back of the bottle here. Let's have a look. I'll let you have a read of that in a moment, because it would be the first time I've read it, and I, to be honest with you, don't read fast very well when I'm just reading. Drink responsibly, sir. If you're pregnant, probably best to leave this one alone. But yeah, it's a 5% bottle of joy. And when you're drinking half a litre of it at a time, you go through a few of those at 5%, it's, you know, if you go for some of the slightly stronger ones, I'm pretty sure one I saw a while back was like 6.5%. What in the flock they call it, and it's pig sinner or something. It's so strong. If you have 2 pints of that, it's just, you do feel it. So, and that's nice as well, because as you sort of go through, you sort of start to feel a little bit more relaxed. So what we're about to do here, the reason why this video is actually happening is I'm about to go on and record some videos. I'm going to go on, I'm going to do probably Grand Theft Auto, Red Dead Redemption, and then something for this channel. So there you go, we'll have a quick sip, shall we? And that is all you do. You have a sip and then you roll it over your tongue. Take a good swallow. And just be aware of the flavours, because they are all different. I kind of, when it's in my mouth, I kind of like to breathe out through my nose, similarly to how you would with a cigar, because a lot of taste comes through the nose. That's why people blow out their nose with a cigar, it's because the taste goes through there. And you'll find you'll be doing it with absolutely everything after a while. Now this is very good. Oh, it's good. Buy one. Go and get one. Probably get them in Tesco's, because it's quite a generic brand. But there's a reason why it's generic. It's very nice. There's nothing special about it. It's just a nice ale. Let me know if you want me to do any more of these.